Well, I have just a couple of quick short stories that I think of whenever I think of David. And the first one was we were having a Maine Fiddle Camp staff meeting the first August week, and I told him, well, we're going to start a second August week. You know about that, but guess what? We need to boost it up a bit because every time I started a new camp, it always took a while for people to everybody gets sort of wedded to that particular camp, and they keep coming back. So you start a new camp, and you gotta do something to kind of draw people in. So people say, well, what do you got? You got something special? And I said, well, we've got David Surette and Susie Burke, and I'm telling you, the staff just went like that. They were just astounded, and all the guitar players says, is he going to teach guitar? Is he going to teach guitar? And all the mandolin players, is he going to teach mandolin? What's he going to do? What? They were all so excited and just amazed, and they really got the fact that he was going to bring in a lot of new people. Neither of them had been part of Maine Fiddle Camp, and they brought their family, and they kicked off that second August week, the first of the second August week in a really great way. But I'll never forget the positive reaction of the staff, knowing his music and what an impact it was going to be on Maine Fiddle Camp. and having his whole family there was really wonderful as well. And then a few years later, this guy calls me up and says, I know it's last minute, Doug, and I know I'm all the way down in southern Maine, but I'll do anything. You got to come down here and stroll around and play your fiddle for this event. And, if you can find somebody else to join you, please do, but I know it's last minute and this and that. I said, okay, well, all right, I'll do it. And then, so I'm thinking, who am I going to get? So I called all my local friends and bandmates and whatever, but nobody could do this last minute thing. And I thought, well, maybe I could get Dave Surette to do it. Because I'd never really played a gig with him or, just some jamming or whatever. And so I called him up and he says, Doug, I'd be delighted to do it. And I thought, wow, this guy is really cool. Because it wasn't like a big deal gig, but it was near him and it was kind of during the day. And so he was available. And so I go down there, and then I love to play all the standards and stuff, but I love to play all these ones that a lot of people don't know necessarily. And I had no repertoire with him, so he started off playing kind of standards, and it was working great. He's such a good musician. He was more than willing to just totally accompany me and make my fiddling sound a lot better than it really was. And then I started to play tunes that he had never heard before, and in my more esoteric part of my repertoire. And I could just give him a couple of little hints about what was going on, and with his musicality, he just accompanied me just so brilliantly. And I'll never forget how gracious and how talented he was to help me out with that gig, and it just made an unbelievable impression. And he did that every time he was at Maine Fiddle Camp, made such a positive impression with his music and with his reaching out to people and his basic humanity. So we're going to miss him at Maine Fiddle Camp tremendously.